Oh, hey, I wanted to talk to you today about The Matrix. Not that new one. That movie sucked. But the first film, The Matrix 1, that was Big Tony's favorite. Yes, Big Tony has his favorites, and that is one of them. Amongst the Terminator, also House Party, Blade, The Thing, and we'll get more into those in the future. The Matrix was released March 31st, 1999, a little bit after my birthday. How old was I? Probably around 10, maybe a little bit older than that. Came home from school one day and dad had this movie and he showed me the film. I was blown away. There was a lot of violence in there. I don't know it was a good call, but I love that movie. So thank you, Dad. And this movie was made by the Wachowskis. At the time, the Wachowski brothers, now the Wachowski sisters, hey, they made a hell of a film. I don't care about your personal life. The art is what matters, all right? So, it's a science fiction film and action. It's about 136 minutes long. But the most important thing is that the budget, if a company can triple, quadruple their money back, they're going to make three, four, five of those films. And they did. So 63 million was the budget. It grossed about 467 million USD worldwide. And that's impressive. This movie was a big hit in Taiwan, Germany, everything. It was incredible. And so one of the biggest fun facts it says here is that this invented the bullet time effect that everything at the early 2000s, late 90s would emulate. You had Cisco doing it, Max Payne was doing it. I was even trying to do that whole bending over backwards slow motion thing. It was a lot of fun. This movie was a big deal at the 90s, early 2000s, around the time when it came out. What I love about The Matrix is the overall aesthetic, of course. It introduced me to cyberpunk, gothic, the gothic subculture, the music. I wasn't really too familiar with these things until this movie introduced me to it, and I went further down that rabbit hole. As you guys can see, it's one of the many things that influence my music taste, probably my clothing style also. But the next thing is the casting. If you guys been following this channel at all, I love good casting. If I can't believe that you are trying to be who you're, of course, who you're pretending to be, then I'm not going to enjoy the film. There's a lot of movies like that where they just don't quite get the character right. But every character in The Matrix, I believe them and I want to see more of them. It's almost like they have a life of their own outside the film. Of course, as an actor, though. But I really loved everyone's all the casting choices, but I also loved the bond that everyone seemed to have. There wasn't really anyone that I was like, they don't really work well together. Everyone, for the most part, worked really well. Of course, this would change as the movies progress. Hey, another big thing I want to talk about is the character development, of course, the overall story. This story, the very first movie, you start off with someone who's essentially just like you and me, a nobody, just in a sea of people, right? Working a 9 to 5, just trying to get by. And by the end of it, the man is flying in the air. If that's not progression, I don't know what is. But the movie was great. It's fully relatable. It's one of those things where they're still talking about today. Is life a simulation? I don't know. I would sure hope there's more to life than this. But hey, we'll see. But also, the movie also got some criticisms, if you will. Miss Sophia Stewart does not like the film, and she does not like the Terminator. She claims that she written both the Terminator and she written the Matrix, and that the Wachowskis and James Cameron ripped her off. Whether you believe her, whether you don't believe her, hey, either way, somebody made a hell of a movie, all right? You guys can look that up for yourself, or more on her. But overall, the Wachowskis are attached to this film, and they did great. They did great, and of course, they need each other because that last film wasn't that good. They had one of the sisters there, but not both of them. In order to make a good film again, they need both of them. It felt like a different movie. It felt like a movie pretending to be The Matrix. So I won't get into it too deep, but I did not like that new film. Again, you need both sisters in order to make this a sequel. And there's a number of things they can do. They can show us the very first Matrix. No, not the first movie, but if you guys are big fans of this, In the film, they mentioned several times that there was a Matrix 1. There were several other Matrixes before the one where we meet Neo. There were several other the ones, and they all died before him. So, that's movies all in itself. You can also tell us what happened after the big war where they saved Zion. So, I'm leaving you guys with a lot to think about, Wachowski sisters. Come on, get this together. But overall, folks, I got to tell you, this movie was great. It was so good. That first film was so good that I can forgive the last one for being a stinker. The first film has changed me. I will never forget it. This is one of those franchises that they'll probably keep going and going and going, all right? So sit back and relax on that. Watch, I'll be right. But anyway, folks, thank you for joining me on this. What did you like about The Matrix? What did you dislike about The Matrix? Tell me in the comments. Either way, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.